You've got a tiny island, a seriously powerful missile system, and two of the world's biggest powers watching every single move. Today, we're going to break down Japan's incredibly high-stakes military play right off the coast of Taiwan.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Global War Watch Network. We are about to get into a really critical development that's unfolding in the Pacific. So, before we do, if you want to stay on top of stories just like this, please take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us keep the channel going.
All right, let's get right to the heart of it. Japan has just put advanced missiles on an island that is, it's practically a stone's throw from Taiwan. And China is, well, they're furious. They're calling it a huge provocation. So, the big question is, are we looking at the world's next major flashpoint? Let's figure it out.
Okay, so to really grasp how serious this is, we have to start with the location. Because when it comes to stuff like this, geography is absolutely everything. And this whole situation revolves around one small, very remote spot on the map, Yonaguni Island.
Just look at that number, 110 kilometers. That's nothing. To put that in perspective for you, it's less than the drive from New York City to Philadelphia. This is not some far-off abstract threat. This hardware is sitting right on Taiwan's doorstep.
You know, Yonaguni's position is just wild. It's Japan's westernmost island with people on it. And get this, it's actually closer to Taiwan than it is to the main island of Okinawa. For a long time, it was just a quiet little observation post. But now it's being turned into what the military calls a hardened defense node.
So what is this hardware they're putting on the island? What are these big missiles we're talking about? Let's get into the actual system that's at the center of this whole thing.
All right, it's called the Type 03 Chusam. Now, what the heck is that? Well, probably the easiest way to think about it is like the world's most aggressive air traffic controller. It's a mobile truck-mounted system designed to spot anything flying into its zone that shouldn't be there and then take it out.
So what can this thing actually do? Well, its range is up to 100 kilometers, creating this huge invisible defensive bubble around the island. And its speed? We're talking Mach 2.5. That is insanely fast, over 2.5 times the speed of sound. It gives an incoming threat almost zero time to react, and it can go after pretty much anything from fighter jets and helicopters to those tricky love-flying cruise missiles.
But here's where it gets really crazy. The radar on this system is like something out of a sci-fi movie. It can keep its eye on 100 potential threats all at the same time. But, tracking is one thing. This system can actually engage, meaning fire at, about a dozen of those targets simultaneously. And the newest version, the Kai variant, is even built to take on next-gen stuff like hypersonic weapons. So yeah, this is a very, very capable piece of kit. Now, it's really important to understand that what's happening on Yonaguni isn't just a one-off thing. Nope. This is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle, a very deliberate strategy that's creating what some people are calling a missile wall.
And this strategy has a name. It's called anti-access/area denial, or A2/AD if you want to use the jargon. The idea, though, is pretty simple. You basically create a giant keep-out zone. You make it so difficult and so costly for an adversary, and let's be clear, we're talking about China here, to get their ships or planes into the area that they won't even try.
And you can see right here how they're building that barrier island by island. It started on Amami Oshima, then Miyako. Ishigaki is in the works, and now Yonaguni is the newest link in this chain. Together, they form a defensive line that stretches all the way down from Japan, effectively putting a cork in the bottle and trying to control the waterways.
So, as you can probably imagine, when you start building a missile wall in one of the most tense regions on the entire planet, people are going to have some strong opinions. And yeah, this move is definitely making some serious waves. Let's look at the reactions.
You have to realize, for Japan, this is a massive shift. For decades after World War II, they had this self-imposed cap on defense spending, only 1% of their economy. But now, they're planning to double it by 2027, and they're not being shy about why either. They've explicitly named China as their single greatest strategic challenge. This is a fundamental change.
And the reactions from its closest neighbors? Well, they could not be more different. China is, to put it mildly, not happy. They see it as a provocation, as Japan meddling in what they consider their own business with Taiwan. But from Taiwan's perspective, they're looking at this new missile built and breathing a little easier. For them, this could be a crucial backstop, a shield against the potential blockade or invasion.
So where does the United States fit into all this? Well, From Washington's point of view, this is pretty much all good news. It means Japan is seriously stepping up to share more of the security burden in the Pacific. It makes joint planning for any, scenarios involving Taiwan a whole lot more straightforward. And this is already happening. U.S. forces have already been on Yonaguni running drills.
But with all this talk of high-level strategy and geopolitics, it is really easy to forget something crucial. Real people live on Yonaguni Island. This isn't just a piece on a chessboard, it's their home. So what does it feel like to have your hometown turned into a military outpost?
And on the ground, the feelings are complicated. It is a real mixed bag. On one hand, some folks see the economic upside. New construction, more people on the island, more money flowing in. But on the other hand, there's a very real fear. A fear that their beautiful home, a place that relies on tourism and fishing, is being turned into a bullseye in a future conflict. And the memory of the Battle of Okinawa during World War II, that still looms very large there.
I think this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The island is living this bizarre double life. It's a peaceful, beautiful tourist destination, and it's also a potential tripwire for a massive war. That contradiction has never been sharper for the people who live there.
And that really brings us full circle, back to the core question. Is putting these powerful missiles on this tiny island a smart, necessary act of deterrence that actually keeps the peace? Or is it just pouring gasoline on an already smoldering fire, setting the first tripwire for a catastrophic war? There are no easy answers, but the stakes just couldn't be any higher.
Hey, thanks so much for sticking with us for this explainer. If you found this valuable, do us a huge favor and hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons for the Global War Watch Network. But we really want to know what you think. Deterrent or tripwire? Let us know down in the comments. Join the conversation on our social media channels. All the links are in the description below. We'll see you for the next one.